All right, let's get right into it. If you're trying to land a public service job in São Paulo, you know the official Gazette, the Diário Oficial. And let's be honest, it can feel like this huge, dense, super boring document. But what if I told you it's not boring at all? What if it's actually a treasure map? That's what we're going to do here. Turn that daily publication into your own personal strategic advantage.
So, I gotta ask, is this thing just a bureaucratic chore you have to slog through, or is it your secret weapon? Trust me, by the time we're done, you'll see it's 100% your secret weapon. This is where the real game is being played, folks.
So here's our quest for today. We're going to unlock 5 key secrets that are hiding in plain sight in the Gazette. We'll cover everything from huge updates on job openings to seeing how the very laws you're studying for are actually being used in the real world. Let's get started. Okay, our first secret is all about changing your perspective. You have to learn to see the Gazette not as just a list of boring announcements, but as a map. The real clues, the important stuff, it's all hidden between the lines of that official language. Finding them is absolutely key.
In this quote right here, it nails it. This isn't just about getting some small advantage. No. The information that you either find or that you miss in this document can literally be the thing that gets you approved or gets you disqualified. The stakes are that high.
All right, let's get to our first major discovery, and you are going to want to pay very close attention to this one. This is a huge, recent change that directly impacts anyone going for the Agent of School Organization exam, and it could totally flip your strategy on its head.
So listen up. Here's the headline. Portaria CGRH number 2 completely, and I mean completely, changed the number of job openings for this position in each region. So if you are making your plans based on an old list, you need to stop right now. That information is officially garbage. It's obsolete.
And here is where we see just how big of a deal this is. This is not a small adjustment. Just look at the difference here. The Campinas Oeste region now has 352 vacancies. Now compare that to Piraju with just 39. This single update has dramatically reshaped the entire landscape of opportunity.
And wow, looking at it like this really makes it sink in. Seeing these 2 bars next to each other, there's just no denying it. Your chances, who you're competing against, your whole strategy, it could all change depending on where you apply. This is exactly the kind of critical intel the Gazette delivers every day.
So what do you do with this information right now? 3 things. First, verify. Go find that new list and check your region immediately. Second, reevaluate. You have to ask yourself, does my original plan still make sense, or do I need to pivot? And third, you have to stay vigilant. This proves these kinds of changes can happen at any time. It's why reading it daily is so important.
Okay, let's move on to our next secret. This is where it gets really cool. It's about taking those abstract laws you're spending months studying, like the new bidding law, and actually seeing them in action. The Gazette is basically a living, breathing textbook.
You'll be scrolling through, and you'll see something just like this. A contract for renting vehicles that's worth over 228,000 reais. This is the normal, day-to-day business of the state. It shows you the real-world application of all those procurement rules on a daily operational scale.
But then you'll see this, a single contract for school transportation worth over 19 million reais. The jump in scale is just massive. This shows you we're not just talking about buying pencils here. We are talking about managing huge amounts of public money and enormous responsibilities, all of it governed by the laws you're trying to master.
And this slide tells a whole story, step by step. This is a real case from the Gazette about a company called Griffin. So they have a contract with the state, but they start failing to pay their workers. So what happens? The state follows the legal playbook. First, an official notification. Then, a deadline to respond. And when the company does nothing, the state takes action. This isn't theory. This is the state's duty to oversee contracts happening in real time.
And this brings us to a super important legal point. The action the state took, it's called a precautionary measure. Now, let's be crystal clear about what this means. This is not the state paying the company's debt for them. Not at all. It means the state is withholding the money it was going to pay the company. They do this to protect public funds and to make sure the contract's rules, like paying employees, are actually followed. Understanding this difference is key.
So all of this brings us to our 4th secret, using the Gazette to get a sneak peek of what your actual career will be like after you pass the test. It gives you a preview of both the rights you're going to earn and the very strict responsibilities you're going to have to live up to.
You know, every public service career is really two sides of the same coin, and you see both sides right in the Gazette. On one hand, you have your rights, things like getting promotions and having the ability to appeal decisions. But on the other side, you've got serious responsibilities. You can be investigated, and you have an absolute duty to follow the law, like the Public Employee Statute. You see both sides of this coin every single day.
For example, you might see a notice about a sobrastemamento. It sounds complicated, but all it really means is that a disciplinary process is being put on pause. It's not canceled, the person isn't acquitted, it's just a temporary freeze, usually because they're waiting on a court decision. And here's the kicker. The clock on the time limit for punishment also stops. It's another one of those legal details you learn from reading the source.
Okay, we have uncovered a lot of treasure here. So for our final section, let's bring it all together. Let's forge it into a practical tool, your own personal Mac and compass for the journey that's ahead of you.
Here it is, your ultimate study checklist, based on everything we've just seen. Read the Diario Official every single day. It's your most reliable source of truth. Master those key laws like the Employee Statute and the Bidding Law. Always be on the lookout for updates and changes. Try to understand the context behind what you're reading. And finally, learn from the mistakes you see others make in there. Never, ever miss a deadline.
So, I'm going to leave you with this one thought. We just decoded today's Gazette, but a brand new one comes out tomorrow. And the day after that, it is a never-ending stream of crucial information. So the real question isn't what we found today. It's what crucial clue, what new piece of your treasure map will you find tomorrow? Happy hunting.